Hey everyone, how's it going? So, you get what you pay for. And I've discussed this before, but I just want to go over it again. I want to talk about basically people coming to your house to fix your car, people meeting you in a parking lot to fix your car, truck, whatever, and what kind of quality are you getting? Now, yes, I am talking about mobile mechanics, but I'm not talking about legit good mobile mechanics. A legit good, how do you spot the difference? How do you spot the difference? Well, a legit good mobile mechanic is going to have a business card. They're going to have, that doesn't necessarily mean much of anything, but just saying. Normally, they'll put the time, money, and effort into having a business card. They'll have a business card. They'll have a way of reaching them besides a text message. They will have usually a van or a truck that they keep their equipment in. They will have a diagnostic scanner. They will have, decent tools, stuff like that. They will have a reputation. They will put out actual advertisements on social media. They won't just post on like a local town group saying, I will come to your car and fix it for you. I can do brakes for cheap, stuff like that. They won't do that. Usually a good mobile mechanic, if you go online, they will have a ad online. Hey, you type in mobile mechanic, you'll find somebody in your area. Usually those people that you find, those are the good ones, because they spend the money to make sure that you can find them. The other people, like I said, that go on social media and put it out there that, they can come to your car and replace your brake pads, cheaper than anybody. Do you really want that? Like, who are these people? Seriously, who are they? How do you know what they're capable of doing? Okay? There's a reason for this conversation today. So, I have found that when you deal with a brick and mortar shop like ours, we're going to be more expensive. Yes, absolutely guaranteed we're going to be more expensive than a mobile mechanic. Now, why is that? Well, we have quite a bit of overhead compared to a mobile mechanic. A mobile mechanic is usually just one guy, sometimes two. Sometimes the guy will have somebody that works with him to get jobs done quicker. But with us, we have a ton of overhead, whereas a mobile mechanic does not. We have a brick and mortar building, and the average brick and mortar building, you're talking $5,000 a month just for rent or mortgage or whatever to have the building. Then you have to have electric, then you have to have insurance, then you have to have whatever else is required. If you got to pay for water, whatever. All of that is required. So, and that's to open the doors. Believe it or not, in town, there is a local shop, and they do terrible work. They don't have electricity. I mean, I know the power goes to the building, but they don't have it turned on. They're always busy, but they use floor jacks, and they work outside most of the time. And the work that's come out of there just is amazing, because I've seen their work, and it's terrible, terrible work. I mean, if you're going to go into a place like that, and you see they don't even have power, they don't have electricity, they don't have a waiting room, really? What are you getting, for your dollar? Seriously. Now, if you're going to deal with a mobile mechanic, like I said, find somebody that's reputable, speak to people. I have no problem with mobile mechanics. I think there's quite a few good ones out there. We use mobile programming services. We can program a lot of stuff ourselves, but there's certain things we cannot program. So we use technically mobile mechanics to come out. We use mobile welders too. And, they will come to us and they will do programming, they will do welding, stuff like that. And, they're good quality people, and they have advertisement, they have business cards. They show up usually in some kind of professional attire. You're not going to have some Joe Blow showing up in his, clapped out Volkswagen Jetta, in a dirty t-shirt and, cut off jeans or whatever, and it has a bunch of tools and a bucket. That's not what you're going to get when you get a good mobile mechanic. They're usually going to have some kind of a van, some kind of a station wagon, hatchback, something like that, pickup truck where they keep all their stuff in. And they're going to come to you, and they'll go to your house, and, like I said, you could pay them, they'll have a business card, you could pay them with a credit card or however, usually. They don't necessarily just accept cash. They'll have receipts, the whole 9 yards. I've probably gone over a few of these things already twice. But you know what I'm getting at when I'm saying this. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because, you get what you pay for. A couple weeks back, we had a not a Jeep Grand Cherokee, a Jeep Wrangler come in. And he came in for some servicing and stuff like that. So we did the services on it, and we noticed he had an oil leak. It was leaking down the back over the top of the transmission, over the bell housing. Checked it out. The oil cooler was leaking. Okay. So we called him up, gave him a price. He's like, ooh, they're not cheap. You got to take the intake off and everything else to get to them to replace them. And they're kind of messy. He's like, well, I'm going to have to hold off on that. How bad is it really? He goes, I'm not really noticing spots on the ground. Well, it's leaking. You got oil coming off the bell housing. I mean, it's not pouring out by any means, but it's definitely leaking. All right. So he leaves. Like I said, he doesn't do the job. Yesterday, he comes in and he says, I just want to tell you, he says, I should have had you guys do that oil cooler. Now, the oil cooler is the oil filter housing and everything else on a Chrysler 3.6, which is what's in the Jeep Wranglers after 2010, I think. So he says, I should have had you guys do it. So, of course, we're thinking off the top of our heads, well, he probably ran it out of oil and blew the engine or something. No. He said, I had a mobile mechanic come. He goes, it was somebody I found on social media. And he goes, the guy shows up at my house, and, he's got, just a bag of tools, and he wasn't very neat. He wasn't very professional. And, he takes it apart. He goes, when he took it apart, he got antifreeze, and he got oil and stuff all over the driveway. He goes, then he runs to the parts store. And then he comes back over, which running to the parts store is no big deal. I mean, sometimes you got to get parts that you don't really know that you're going to have to get. I mean, he maybe didn't know exactly what he was getting into with the job. So he says the guy did the job. He paid him in cash because that's how the guy wanted to get paid. He paid him in cash. The guy left. He says he looks underneath the hood and he goes, there was just a mess. He goes, it was just grease and dirt and oil and everything else. It was just a mess. But it ran. Everything was fine. So he said the very next day he was taking it down the road, and all of a sudden he started smelling gas. And of course, when you smell like gas or antifreeze, at first you're like, is that my vehicle? Or is that from somebody else's vehicle? He goes, I smelled gas. He goes, and then all of a sudden, he goes, the thing shut off. He goes, and then when it shut off, he goes, I heard a loud poof. He goes, and then smoke started pouring out from underneath the hood. The vehicle burned to the ground. Yeah, it burned to the ground. So he apparently, started looking up what's involved in doing that job, and he come to find out, you have to take the lower intake off, and you got to disconnect the fuel line. I mean, you could do it without disconnecting it, but I've seen people do that and break the line. Why would you want to do that? So, more than likely, the guy disconnected the line. And in process of disconnecting the line and doing the job and then putting it back together, he must not have either clipped it or he forgot to put the clip back in. A lot of people pull the clips out and he forgot to put the clip back in. Possibly. Don't know. This is all speculation. Don't know if that's what actually happened. So, but the vehicle burned to the ground. So, and that was he loved that vehicle, pride and joy. He had a lift kit on it, he had a winch on it, he had, this, that, the other thing, all the different options, the rubber duckies on the dashboard, the whole 9 yards. He had the different front grille pieces and stuff like that. And 9 times out of 10, when you're dealing with your insurance company for a loss like that, you don't get reimbursed for that stuff. Normally they won't. It's very difficult to get them to reimburse you for anything, even if you provide receipts. So just be aware of something like that. So he lost his vehicle. His car is totaled. So yeah, he had insurance and it paid for for the damages, but he lost a lot too. And then think about the inconvenience and stuff like that. So it's just saying, it's speculation that it was from that mobile mechanic, but hey, that's a very, very, very good possibility considering what he said. He smelled gas, and then all of a sudden there was a loud poof, and then that was the end of that. So, just something you want to consider. If you have somebody doing something on your car that, and he's, not a professional, or, he hasn't been doing it for years or whatever, you just don't know. Do you really want somebody that's just some Joe Blow that's doing your brakes and you have no idea who this guy is? At least when you go into a brick and mortar store like ours, you're dealing with us face to face every day. You come back the next day, guess where we're going to be? Right there, right? If that guy doesn't want to answer his phone, doesn't want to talk to you again, he just doesn't have, he could block your number, So, and you don't know where he is. You don't know how to get a hold of him, right? So, anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. Just, be cautious. That's all. Just be cautious, because you just never know what's going to happen. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys are getting something out of my videos. If you are, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. If you look down below in the description, I do have links to Amazon products that I personally use. And that's going to be, I'll explain more about that in a future video sometime next month. But that's about it. All right, guys, I hope you got something out of that. If you did, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. Have a great day, and keep wrenching.